even up yet.
It's not up yet. Okay, it's testing. We'll be starting
Hit the bell.
shortly.
I'm gonna hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.
Panel one. All right,
Me
got
me
you.
me 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 me.
Part of me is like, I don't want to. Part of me is like, I don't want to write words. Just let them draw pictures. Pictures
Okay.
are fun. Pictures are fun.
Okay. Testing audio levels. 1, 2, 3. Smuggamuggy.
Panel one.
Panel
Wide
2.
panel. Mm.
Okay, YouTube, can you let me go live? Hello?
A wide panel showing a crowd.
Okay, I'm gonna be drawing a webcomic, so.
Oh damn.
What?
Damn. What happened to Battle City? We canceling it or?
No. We're doing
Okay.
draw and talk thing.
Oh, you're doing that. Okay. What you got?
Actually, let's go to Battle City. I haven't touched.
Edge of the finish line.
You know what? Wait. What if I just do my what I'm gonna do for draw and talk? No, I don't have anything ready yet. Let's go to Battle Boys. Battle Boys. The problem with Battle City, I'm too much of a perfectionist, so I keep on like editing crap. I need something that's not gonna take up brain power. I gotta be able to talk and work. I could just ink these pages.
You know, want to just start Twitch, just play video games and just talk about this?
I mean, that's fine.
Okay. What are we gonna play? Crusader
Wait,
CK2?
you can hear us? Wait, we're streaming? Wait, we're live? Hold on, bring up the audio.
Wait, what?
We're live?
I don't. Who's
Who
gonna?
who hit the live button?
Wait, who's watching us?
Draw and talk, the man of the
Oh,
hour.
oh, hey, John,
Okay,
talk.
I'm bringing up all audio levels because let's see how that does. What in the world? We're live. Okay, welcome to the ENF Rage Hour, 5 minute
Figure out
Rage
it.
Hour number 3.
Where it's like 5 minutes, 5 minute topics, but there's like how many? Like,
No,
oh, I'm stupid right now.
I'm just
Like
I'm just
20.
I'm just a psychopath, and I just put 5 minutes, 5 minute Rage Hour, which doesn't make any sense.
No, it's like what is it? We spend one topic 5 minutes for a full hour, so it's like several topics in like 5 minute verses.
No,
Just
this is the plan. This is the main plan.
yeah.
Okay,
Just a minute.
we're gonna
Okay.
talk. We're gonna mainly cover.
We haven't done this in a while.
No, we haven't done this in a while because life is crazy. But what we're gonna cover mainly is we're gonna talk about
Figure
content.
pump. Figure pump up the stereo, man.
Is it
John Talk
really?
can't hear us.
I know.
Pump it.
I already. Okay, sounding
Pump
good.
it up.
A
Pump
little
it up.
louder.
Pump it up.
Lord have
Figure
mercy.
figure raise the bass.
Okay, I'm raising
Raise the.
you up. I'm raising you up.
Okay.
Oh Lord, it's loud.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's why I feel. I like it.
Am I just? Dude, I'm maxed out everything on Streamlabs. It wasn't like this
Okay.
before. Hold on, let me hear my own memes.
Figure raise the bass.
Okay, I'm raising
Raise
you
the.
up. I sound no, I am pretty quiet. What in the world?
I told you, you're a quiet boy. Small
No.
boy.
But then I record and it's fine. Whatever. I'm just doomed for failure.
Okay, figure you're good now.
We're good?
Yeah, you're good now.
We're good?
Okay, stop that.
That's gonna be okay, coming up in
I, need-
30 seconds. That's gonna
I
be
need I need you, I need you to be like a third. Like an
I
actor
need
age.
oh. We are honestly in Streamlabs, we're hitting them high decibel levels right now. But main topic we're gonna talk about on this third installment of the ENF 5 minute Rage Hour. Number 3, we're gonna talk about the large amount of content within our society and
Every
entertainment everywhere.
okay.
Even though the title is too many comics, we're gonna talk about too much of everything, as we see the rise of streaming platforms for literally every little niche on the planet. HBO Max, HBO Max Go Plus Max, Max Go Plus more, Disney Plus, Disney Plus Go, Disney Plus Go Max Plus more, Netflix go.
Okay,
Do
okay,
you
you're really
see what I
exaggerating
mean?
on that one.
Do you
Okay,
see what I mean? But I'm exaggerating because we are
okay, okay.
entering
Let's
we are,
put this.
we are
Well.
entering a stage in our
Okay,
online
well,
streaming services where we're going down the TV route, and we're gonna have to pay for NFL like how we have
well,
to
not
do on TV
not
or
not
on the
necessarily,
computer.
not
Yes, we
necessarily, not
are.
necessarily. Okay. Let's put this in the room, right? Let's go with the big one. This is like piracy in comics, right? How piracy's bad, but in the form of like television, like more people are pirating television or streaming like television now than they've ever done before, because there's stream like Netflix, Apple TV, HBO Max, Hulu,
Hulu
Disney
Go plus
Plus,
Hulu Max.
like yeah, ABC, like ABC streaming service, right? There's like different streaming services at this moment that I know of, right? Each one with something varying that you would want to watch. So more people are streaming because rather than paying for all these services, they'll probably pay for the one they like most just to get the show. They'll probably just pay for the one that's like the most convenient. So if they had Netflix, they'll probably stay with Netflix and just keep doing that while paying for everything else, or just pirating everything else because that's more convenient than say spending about $100 a year for just to get like one show.
But that's the problem. It used to be, but okay, are people willing just to not watch something?
Yeah,
Even if
like
it's not on the
they
platform anymore? Like how Disney's
yeah
gonna pull all their Disney products off out of Netflix?
pro-
Netflix?
like like a lot of people have already left because of that. Like for that, there's like they even quoted that a lot of people when Disney announced that they're pulling their like content, but they said they were just gonna like what is it? They said the lost subscribers because of it.
Okay, then that means are we reaching the bubble? Or we're reaching something in the industry where the consumer basis can't handle or can't the consumer basis cannot sustain the industry that has been created from our
Netflix, what this industry Netflix created.
basically like as we or can
Well,
consumers pay for what has been created, which
okay,
is
now let's
the
put it in terms
massive
of
monster that is a streaming
oh
services.
well, let's put it in context with like comics, right? So we'll use comics. Let's assume like let's say there's over 1,000 publishers of comic books right now, and a market that relies mainly on comic book stores. So
Which are but that's more of an issue of accessibility,
okay, okay,
right?
that's accessibility, right? Okay, so there's two big digital outlets where you can buy a comic book, right? You can buy it on
Comixology.
co- yeah, Comixology, and I forgot the other one, Comic Central.
Comic
Yeah,
Central. Okay.
Comic Central. So
Legally.
assume you don't, yeah, legally. So you don't have a comic book store, but now you have two digital places. So there's the big argument in say video games is that I pay $60 for a physical game that I actually own, right? Rather than like, or I could pay $60 for a game digitally, but I don't own it ever. So there's a toss up. Like, why would I want to pay $60 for something I'll never own
But you do own
versus
it.
no, you don't own it
The
digitally.
the digitally you do the data is within your system.
No. If you ever delete it and like the licenses ever like changes, you no longer it's gone forever.
That depends on the game. Most of our games
Well,
within that okay, most games work now are all primarily online based.
yeah,
Okay?
okay, but
That
let's assume like this, right? Like PT, like in the recently, there's a Disney game, Tron Legacy game.
yeah. Okay.
That license is gone, and it's no longer up for download or anything. Just like completely wiped. Even though people pay full price for it, and there's people that still play it. An active like over 100 people play it, the multiplayer for it. It's gone because Disney didn't renew the license agreement with the DRM people.
That's the issue of consoles. At least well
Yeah, but yeah, this is no, that was Steam users.
as a Steam user, well okay, here's the thing though.
Yeah,
You can still get access to that game
well,
though.
you have to work around it
It's
now.
on. Yeah, you have to work around it, but you still own it technically. You still
Well,
own.
no. Like people who've deleted it to make space and they want to play it again, it's gone. It's off the Steam account. And then like there was like a report that when people tried to open it, like launch the product, it wouldn't launch at all. So the game doesn't even start up anymore.
But you can find through third-party means ways to play that
Yeah,
game.
yeah. So like okay, so now, so like that's the terminology, right? So the like now just bring this back to comics.
Okay.
right? So digitally, I buy a comic off Comixology. I don't own it at all technically, or I don't know about Comic Central, but if I buy something off Comixology, I have to read it on Comixology's like app, right? So I don't really own my comics. I'm just technically renting them for if Comixology ever goes under, if Amazon ever like, which would be pretty interesting if it did, right? If Amazon ever dies, Comixology dies, meaning my comic books, digital comic books I bought are gone, right?
Mhm.
Leaving me, no,
I said, yeah. I said,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I
So,
get
so
what.
they're gone. So that means I literally have to find a comic book store that if I follow some really niche comic book indie, right? And if it's not I have to hope my comic book store has that stupid indie comic now, rather than like than not having it all. Now, like either that leads me to pirating or trying to hope Comic Central, not the creator put on Comic Central instead of Comixology,
Okay,
right?
but
So that means that leads pirating to the option.
so that's the answer. We we
No.
pirate
Well, I
the
mean like let's play this, right? So
mhm.
uh I know I've commented this before, like on John Talks videos. Like I pirate things that before I buy it, and like in terms of comic books, right? If you pirate it, it's kind of bad. But like let's put this: most comic books are funded through pre-orders at your comic book shop, right? So let's say it's an Image title, right? Or let's say even like it's like a Dark Horse book. It's probably like maybe your comic book store is probably going to pre-order 5 of them, right? So let's say there's like maybe 1,500 comic book stores left in the U.S., right? Each of them probably order like 5 to maybe 6 of them.
Mhm.
That's whatever you want to do the math for that, right? So 5 to 6 range every comic book store, right? That's a pre-order. Then the creators would get their cut out of it after Dark Horse takes a cut, right? So boom, now they got funded, they got some money, right? Now let's assume that people didn't buy that first issue and decide to just read it online, pirating it. So now that they've read that, they'll like it. Either they've liked it enough to go to the comic book store if they had one, or digitally go buy one digitally, and say, "Hey, put me down for it." So if say out of that 1,500 comic book stores, out of like 5 to 6 ones, maybe each store sold like 1 or 2 of them, right? So they order less. But if the person who liked it in the area said, "Hey, put me down for one," they'll keep ordering, say, one consistently because now you're asking for it. It doesn't change the fact that if 95,000 people liked it, right? If 95,000 people read the first issue of something, doesn't mean that
You get those
they're
same 90
guaranteed,
those same people.
yeah, keep going, coming like recurring customers to that product,
But
which is hmm?
that's more that's a little bit more in line with
Well, that was the basis of
just
the argument that
entertainment
started.
in general.
Yeah, but like, okay, let's put it like this, right? So, not like, okay, the basis of the argument on Twitter was 95,000 people read my comic, right? Let's assume that he's an indie creator, right? So obviously he has an indie book in the comic book store and stuff. So 95, let's assume 95,000 people did order his comic book at every local comic book shop, right?
Mhm.
So out of like all the ones in US. So the comic book stores would technically order more of it because it's popular now. So he gets more funding. Well, more it means more people buying it, but they more orders mean he gets more money because it's basically they buy the book first, then the comic book shops. It's like every other retailer, right? They buy it so they can resell it to like their customers. So 95,000 people, and then let's assume that like the readership drops in half, right, from 95, and then it drops a half again because it doesn't like after that. Does that like it? Does it justify like, oh well, he'll probably be just as mad that he probably wouldn't be as mad because now people are ordering it. He's still getting it like a was it? He's getting a good enough like revenue back from the stores rather than saying 95 people outright just read it the first issue. So it's interesting. It's a hard topic to say because right, like pirating is bad. Like that's a fact. It's bad. But if people like it enough from what you created, then they'll support it because they liked it enough, right? Rather than saying, hey, don't ever pirate it or just don't read it, right? Like, well, true, but I create like if you create art, any form of art, you want someone to appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this idea of like, okay, so now I have this guy had 95,000 people who looked at his comic, right? A lot of people can't even get 95,000 look at their comic at all, right? You barely get like one person look at it if you put it like anywhere.
But there's
So
so much content out
yeah,
there.
so there's so much
That's
content.
one of the biggest issues of why eyeballs are so hard to get. It's like, okay, this is the example I brought up. I said earlier, talking about Michael Jackson. Back in the day,
Okay,
you only had 6 channels on TV, right?
yeah, MTV.
Okay, and then when Michael Jackson was on TV, everyone knew who it was. We don't have back then. There was no SoundCloud. There was no name me.
Indie.
There
Well,
was no
there was no independent scene.
there was no way, there was no platform to put individuals easily out there in front of people. Back in the day, you had to go through Hollywood or whatever, Warner Brothers, whatever big company you want to talk about back in the day, and you went through their filter. The audience was not the filter, or the audience was not the test of were you good or not. Their committees and their editors or their in company, talent agents
Well,
was that filter. That's why back then the only pop star you got was Michael Jackson. Okay, because he was the
mhm.
only person you could watch. That's why he became so big. That's why nowadays you don't see someone like that anymore. You don't see anyone going to that same level that Michael Jackson did. It's not
Well, okay.
possible.
Okay. So minus the content, right? So let's play this, right? We'll keep this we'll keep this like pretty uniform with piracy, this idea.
I
But
never
like
said we were going to talk about piracy.
we're gonna keep this with piracy because I like the hot topic.
Oh
We
my
gotta keep on
goodness.
trending, boys.
He says trending.
No,
The title. I
trending,
need to change the title then.
trending piracy. Too many comics
Say let's
leading to
pirate.
piracy.
I'll
Lead.
change the title to Pirate More Comics.
Oh, oh,
Sponsored by
oh,
Eric Mogel.
thank you. There goes my job. Donny Cates is gonna like make sure I never work in Marvel.
There you go.
There goes my dream of writing X Men and making just straight up JoJo.
Why
Just
you why you gonna make X Men? Okay, well that's what Harbinger is.
yeah, but like I'm gonna make
Harbinger
like
is pretty good.
Harbinger is Power Fantasy X Men version.
True, true.
Yeah,
I'm saying
X Men is just what if there's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but throw in some like Days of Our Lives.
Days of Future Past. I remember that movie.
No, yeah, no. You ever know about Days of Our Lives or like what's another one of those soap operas that are on TV now?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of like drama. It's like, oh, Gene, you kissed Logan, and Logan's like, yeah, and then stuff like that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
anyways, are you playing League of Legends in the back? League of Legends in the
yeah,
background.
I'm playing League.
Okay,
But
I heard a sword sound. I was like, oh no.
no, that was me. The sword sound.
Okay, who do you just want to game real quick? Do you want to cut on your screen? We just watch you
Uh,
game.
no, I'm actually just writing this out. I'm writing this script out for something.
Oh, okay. No, you don't have to be confidential. Just be open. This is an open environment.
All right, I'm writing the 4 page story for Jay
Oh
Whittingham.
no, you can't say that.
I'll never know his name, but I'm just gonna
Well, we'll stream earlier
just
anyway, so I mean, it's in the books now.
all right. So too much. There's too much content in general, right? So there's a lot of comics being made. I can just go to my not legal website to go read some comics. I'll find like over there's over 50 released today that were scanned in.
Okay,
So
that is pretty small compared to how much
well,
manga you chug down. Anyone
yeah,
can
yeah,
chug down every day.
but like manga isn't easily accessible.
Are you sure?
Well, legally,
There
it's
you
not
go.
easily accessible,
But
right?
here's the thing: how is most manga? That okay? Maybe that's another issue that affects the eyeballs within the sequential art based storytelling community. And that's all I have to say. So I don't want to say comics and manga to indicate which is one. I know it's long and drawn out. I'm a fool. Okay. Um.
Yeah,
What I don't even know what I was gonna bring up. Oh wait.
the, that sneaker looks. I'm looking at that sneaker and it looks so
Oh,
good.
okay, okay. Wait a minute. It's Converse, my dude. But okay. So
Yeah.
here is what I was gonna say. Dude, you made me forget. I made myself forget.
Okay, okay. So
We're talking.
okay,
No, wait.
so
We're talking about eyeballs.
well,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
That's what
So
it. Wait, wait. This
eyeballs.
is what it is. Manga is not made in the States, so the laws and rules of copyright infringement are not really affected here within
Oh, it
not really
does.
affected here.
License holders
Okay,
of those, the ones that are legally, right? So Naruto, something like this, Faust was a manga I was really interested in, right? Every time, every time something with like, if every two chapters gets put up online, like after like chapter 3 gets put up online, it gets taken down off that site really fast because the license holders want to keep it, right? Plus something like Rikudo or Berserk, Vagabond, Vinland Saga, right? Don't really have that problem, even though they're published here. It's that this thing that let's put this right. They are a little laxer with it because those fan bases will buy it up, right? Or like if I were to say Rikudo or Hajime no Ippo that aren't released over here, so they don't really care if it's like released online for pirating.
but it's not
Bec-
okay. But it's not as easy coming from a Japanese person to go on a random English website and to figure out what
yeah.
in the world is going
Well,
on with their
I think
content and
I
where
think
it is being
I
placed
think
at.
it's a bit different mentality over there too. Because think of it like this, right? Um, you see a lot of interviews with like manga artists and stuff. Like they always call them sensei, right? Like they have a high regard on these guys who creates manga and like or light novels. They have like they give them like this honorifics, right? And then like, oh, hey, like if I were to talk to Donny Cates, I'm gonna say, yo, Donny Cates, what's up, my dude? Or if I'm talking to like Takahito Inoue, right? I'm gonna show him like more respect than I would show say Donny Cates would or uh Steve Bloom or Englehart and like any of these comic creators, like artists,
Jack
right?
Kirby.
Yeah, like oh, like Jack Kirby does a little more respect, right? But like there's less respect culturally for comic creators here than there is for Japan. So for them, they know that they're creating a sequential art form for like quick consumption, but they're still treated with the modern like you're creating art, so you deserve the respect of an artist would, like as a big artist would, right? Not everyone's a Mira or Inoue, right? Who like can close up museums with their pages, right? But they're still treated with like that modicum of like, hey, you created a lot of work. You created this work that is looks really good or moderately good, right? You still deserve like respect. So in turn, they like the idea of people consuming what they create, looking at it and like, oh, it feels really good. So,
Maybe
oh yeah, no, you don't think so?
maybe no, that's not, I don't think so. Maybe it's because maybe we're just greedy individuals, you know. Maybe we're so
Yeah.
focused on money that we can't just
Well,
express, you know.
we're a consumeristic like society.
We do live in a capitalistic society, and maybe that is the problem with art these days. So much of it is seeped into how much money can it make, how many eyeballs can it grab, how many dollar bills can you bring in with this work. Nobody just makes something and it's just there it is.
I forgot about the book who created it. It was like a guy in the film industry who wrote it around the 70s and 80s, where he said that you make 5 movies for the studio, and they let you make 1 movie for yourself, right?
That's because
And that
they have to profit off of you at some point.
yeah yeah
So when you make your whatever, even if it
so
doesn't make money, you're still
yeah
okay.
yeah so you're making movies for the studio, you're making the blockbusters, and then the movie you made for yourself, right, is always the one that you made for like who you are, right? And I feel
Hmm.
like now that comics, right, the reason why like pirating has become such a big deal is that it's less about yourself. It's less of like you're less making it for yourself and whether making it for the studio, or you're doing this because it's for like the money, right? And like true, you need money to survive, which is like yeah, that's a topic for like a political people who are more like economically savvy. Like oh, you get like
Well, if you want to get a little bit into the
we're not getting we're not getting
financial aspect of
we're not getting
being
economics
being a artist and how you affect the economy
and this
as we see.
we're not getting into
We're gonna tackle the inner workings
I feel like
of
artists don't. I
of
feel
an
like artists
artist
don't pay.
budget.
Artists doesn't pay taxes because they all get paid through PayPal.
We don't understand. We don't understand. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know how. Okay, going through making a comic, getting out on Kickstarter, receiving that money, shipping out the comics, taking care of any problems to handle shipping,
Uh,
any extra stuff. How do you handle that, and then you make sure the law don't come after you? How do you make sure the IRS isn't coming to your door and like, hey, we're gonna take your car, we're gonna take your couch, we're gonna take your TV because you didn't pay
well,
taxes for like
because
the year.
technically you're not even making. Technically, okay, they pay taxes off you have a job, but you don't technically have a job.
Okay,
It's your
okay,
you,
but then you're bringing in $50,000.
yeah.
Okay, red flag.
oh, red flag is they donated it to me. They literally gave me the money
Oh,
to do what I like to do for me to just have fun at home.
but Kickstart, okay, but it's not donation. It's not a
Well,
donation.
yeah,
It's a
it's
transaction.
yeah, but like once again, it's a transaction, but in a way, you're donating. You okay? So it's like this. I'm giving you money, right? The lowest perk is always like, hey, $1 to donate for like the creation. So you always find you can find a lot of those just to make this happen. $1, right? That's the basis of it. You're giving the money to you're donating money to this creator, and the incentive is if the more money you give to a person, the incentive is they give you something back in return. There's no transaction. You're not paying them for a product. You're donating them and in hoping them giving they hope and hope they'll give you something back.
Okay, but primarily within
Primarily
Kickstarter,
that
that's
is crowdfunding.
that
That
it,
is
it
your
is crowdfunding. It's not called donate. It's not called a charity. It's called crowdfunding. Okay,
yeah, but that's how the government sees it because
as
they're
charity,
yeah, it's basically charity
but it's
because
not.
you know one of the most profitable Kickstarters in like of the 10 years was a guy saying, hey, I want to make potato salad and it made over 10 grand of this dude making potato salad. They literally donated him money to make potato salad
Income like
and
that is still money. Okay, money like that is still gonna be taxed at some point. And if you don't do it, you get
well
audited. And,
well they have
the government's like, you
well
owe us a lot of money, and then you have to
well how like
make
well
it up.
that mean it has to something has to come along to cause them to be taxed, right?
Okay,
Like
here's what
okay,
comes along. Asking 10K for potato salad. That's what comes along, and that literally is like a red flag, is saying this is stupid.
yeah,
Who is
yeah.
this?
It may
Why
be
did this
stupid,
happen?
but it's like people are willing him giving him money, right? Because you know Caitlyn Jenner became a billionaire because she literally had a GoFundMe saying I want to be a billionaire,
Okay,
and people
technically, anyone who has a dream
yeah
in
can
these ways is still okay. Let's think about it like this. Okay, uh, you spend money for, I don't know, a concert. Let's do a Kanye concert. You're spending money to go to a Kanye concert. Okay, you already put down money. You paid for something that hasn't happened yet and that potentially might not exist. Okay.
yeah
Okay. Is this crowdfunding?
no
Why not?
because you're paying for something you're guaranteed to get something back.
Okay.
You're getting a ticket. You're getting tickets, and but you're able
It's not
you can get
guaranteed.
you can get a refund.
He don't do
You,
refunds.
well, like legally, you can get a refund for a ticket. You can sell a ticket to somebody else, right? You can sell any of that back immediately the moment you buy it, even though it's slightly illegal. You can sell it immediately back. You can't sell crowdfundings back the moment you get it. You can ask for a refund, but the person can be willing to give you a refund, but it's not guaranteed. He can never. They could choose not to give you the money back. You willingly chose to give money for them to do something, right? You
Hmm.
donated money to a person so that they can just do what they wanted to begin with.
We live in a weird world. We live in a weird world. You know that?
Yeah, like they didn't tax Caitlyn Jenner because, well, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner for her $1 billion because people gave her $1 billion. They
Okay.
can't you can't tax it because
Here,
like it was all donated.
here is what you can garner from this conversation. People of the internet, people, my artists, my people. Do your taxes. Don't evade. Don't pay your bills. Pay your taxes. Don't go into a debt. Don't pay off things with credit cards and then forget about it a year later and then wondering where all my money go. Okay, pay your taxes.
Uh, I'm
This
I don't know Wesley Snipes it.
this is the moment. This is the moment where we have to clarify things before things get out of hand. Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes.
live solely through crowdfunding.
Don't. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is another topic. Okay, that would be nice to bring up. Additional avenues for us artists, comic writers, sequential artists,
Pa-
people.
Patreon, can you get tax for that either?
Okay, but there's other things we can do as creators to ensure an income within our talents that we can receive. Okay, so crowdfunding is one, Patreon is another. YouTube can be a potential another.
Oh no, it's not. No, YouTube.
Gumroad. I
Yeah,
know, but
YouTube died.
you need to know what I'm trying to get at when I mean YouTube. Okay, YouTube is an audience builder because people like to watch. People don't like to read anymore. People like how to watch things and absorb them. You know, by people are lazy and people like videos. Okay, so YouTube has become a very big place to be an audience builder for mainly anything. Primarily, make them tutorial videos of how to pick up a pencil. Okay, make a tutorial video of how to hold a pencil correctly, and I bet you can get 10K views. Anyone, try it. I'm serious, try it because somebody out there is wondering. Because I wondered this too. May I'm not drawing so good. Let me hold my pencil in the weird way that I don't know. Kim Jong Il holds his pencil. Let me hold the way that he does. Maybe I need to learn that tutorial. Maybe I'll get good. Because people like shortcuts. People like find the easy way out. And YouTube has become a very big place for artists to generate content of how to do things easy and to quote unquote fast track your career as an artist. And here's something I'm going to clarify again. There is no easy way to get good at art. You just have to do it. You just have to practice it over a long period of time, and eventually things start to click for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just how it works. And you walked away, didn't you?
That like I was chewing, right? I was chewing this food, but like I just muted myself. So yeah,
Okay. 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 So okay.
that
Kickstart
Converse.
YouTube. What, the shoe?
Yeah, that Converse.
I just bought some Nikes today, by the way. I bought some red Nikes. I gotta hold on.
Oh yeah, we on the next topic now for 5 minutes. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about uh
Too many comics, but like we gave up on that
well, I
one.
like talking about the financial aspect of being an artist now. Okay. So there are also
Okay.
other avenues. You can also sell your brushes online on Gumroad, or I think there's another, forget the name. But you can sell assets, brushes that you use. I mean, you don't use them all the time, but like I said, people like to find something to help them along their way in their artistic career. So selling items like, hey, a page layout. Hey, look at my page layout in Clip Studio. I can sell that on Gumroad for some money, maybe. Or hey, maybe you like this weird like ink brush that I yoinked for free onto the no, I wouldn't do that. Okay. But if you have made your own content or your own assets and you use them however capacity you do, uh, maybe try selling it on Gumroad. You can also sell art prints as well. If you're someone who maybe creates art that could be, hung on a wall or presented, but it's not like, here's my favorite waifu. I drew it. It's in the living room now. You have a you have a 50-inch, diagonal portrait of your waifu in the in the living room.
I gotta
That's not
hang it
what I'm
up.
talking
I gotta
about.
hang it up in my
The what?
my writing room.
Your writing room. Okay, okay. But what I'm talking about, is creating print canvas content that can be accessible to a larger array of art.
Let me just like blow a kiss to my waifu because she's like right there looking at me.
I'm saying not do that. Unless you're selling. Okay, here's the thing, going to conventions. Very expensive unless you draw the right thing. And here's how you sell a lot of conventions. Doing fan art, for some reason, doing fan art, not your original art. Unless you're like um uh Ross, or you're that's one guy who could think of, really, but he does fan art. Okay, here, okay, there it is. Fan art. Fan art is one of the biggest things you can sell online and at conventions to grab a lot of people. Doing it for commissions, doing portraits of full bodies, um, paintings or drawings. People just like that for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be a physical drawing. It can be a digital drawing, and people spend like like $10, $15. Yeah, that's not the biggest amount of money, but how much time you might spend on it. So here, so for doing commissions, be sure you price yourself correctly,
Reasonably.
reasonably, and also the
Yeah.
amount of time that it takes for you to make it. If it takes you 4 hours to make it, and you're only charging $5 a picture, you got a bigger problem there. And what that ends up doing, you end up undervaluing the market for commissions when you bring your price so low, because we live in a we live in a
Capitalistic
capitalist
society.
society. We the whole competitive nature of businesses is to let's go a little bit lower than the other guy, and then people buy our stuff. Oh wait, they went a little bit lower than we. Let's go a little bit lower until you're at like $5 or like $3 for like a gallon of milk. Okay, it's like it gets to that. It's important. In is very important because I see in DeviantArt all the time people shortchanging themselves, and it kills the commission market. Do not undervalue yourself. You ruin everybody when undervaluing yourself in the commission market. That's another way to make money. Do you have any other ideas? Because I think there's one in there in my brain, and I can't find it right now. Because it's like I'm trying to draw this dude's hair, and I've been trying to do it for like 20 minutes now.
I'm a writer figure. I'm undervalued by
So
trade.
you're telling me your brain's only locked into one thing?
Okay, look, let's put this figure. Um,
What?
if you go to conventions, right? There was one girl I got from biking art. I really like biking. Biking isn't gonna sell. I bought biking, right? She charged regular price for that biking that she probably spent like the same amount of time she spent drawing Diva.
What's
You
biking?
know what she's Guilty Gear character.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
she sold out of? You know what character she sold out of? Diva. You
Yeah,
know what character she had plenty of prints of? Biking, right?
but okay. How many prints did she have of Diva?
I don't know. I'm assuming more than she had of biking,
Really?
right?
Okay. I was about to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
I was about to say if it was very little or lower than biking,
yeah. Like
then
no,
then
she
then
had no.
then
She obviously knew she had more, but she liked bike enough to draw her, right? Or probably someone commissioned to her, right? She sold biking for the same amount she was selling the Diva print, but the Diva print sold out, right? The Overwatch characters, like she had other Overwatch characters, those were gone, right? Mercy, May, those were gone, right? But the Guilty Gear characters, the Street Fighter characters, right? She had were still there, and I bought the two that she had, and like she still had like plenty left, and you're like, so like obviously that if you want to like if you're gonna sell not original art but like fan art, right, then you obviously want to know what's hot, right, what people want to buy.
that's pretty easy.
Yeah, is it?
Go on Twitter, go on any social media platform, go on any gaming forum, go load up YouTube, go to the trending tab, I and you'll find Fortnite. Okay, there you go. Go draw your Fortnite characters. Primarily, Overwatch is still gonna do good because it Overwatch was so interesting when it first came out. You know that? It's so weird seeing that game nowadays because it's like I don't play anymore, but it's like it was in a time where we were in the middle ground of
You want to get Kirby in here so she can tell us about
okay,
Overwatch?
I can tell you about Overwatch. I can tell you, boy, don't get me started. I can't
I
play
was a gold
Overwatch anymore.
I was a gold player.
I got plat and then 2 points away from diamond, and then that's as close as I got. I couldn't get to diamond, but Overwatch was a weird entity because it came out when Team Fortress 2 primarily was on the decline, and big MOBAs like Dota 2 and League of Legends were big, but people were yearning for something more. And then League of Legends players, well, Overwatch came out, League of Legends players, a lot of them went over to Overwatch. That's why when the game first came out, and still is why you see the toxicity within the community, especially in the competitive region, because it's the same toxicity in League of Legends that we experience. But that's me ranting about that. But Overwatch was in a perfect position to present a game that was fresh, but was still familiar to the audience, the gamer audience at the time. Okay, so I think that's a big reason why Overwatch still was relevant to today, and also the women, are drawn, popping. Okay, besides grandma, don't
Okay.
touch grandma. I actually played Anna,
Mercy?
Anna,
Oh. Oh.
Anna,
Yo,
Anna, dude.
young Anna popping though.
Dude, here. Okay, me, I always play Anna. And when I played competitive, Anna was my character, man. I support, but I DPS. I remember back in the day when your damage was 75 and you could knock out Farah in 3 hits, and it was the greatest thing ever because you countered her every single game. And then it's like we're gonna bring it down to 50 damage, and it's like, oh, guess I can't do what I did anymore. So I'm like, oh, what's the point? But that's me ranting. Okay,
I have
so
a friend of mine who would tell you that you're wrong. He still like exclusively plays Anna, fucking gets the most DPS.
well, they did buff her a little bit more. Okay, I know they. I just remember back when she first came out, that 75 damage of pop, dude. That was the greatest thing ever. And sleeping people was like amazing. It's like sleeping Genjis when they first ult is like the greatest feeling ever. But I digress to my glory days as a gamer.
You know,
Now I draw comics.
actually, the most interesting thing you said, like we can segue to Overwatch is character design.
Yeah.
Character design is the like if you want like too many comics. Getting back to that, too many comics. If you have a good character design, will help put more eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just all. But a good character design solely is not enough merit to bring
Is
in.
it?
I
Is it?
I don't know, man. I mean, Goblin Slayer looks pretty cool, but does anybody talk about Goblin Slayer anymore?
No, but Goblin Slayer was a light novel.
Okay.
Okay, so Shonen Jump, right? When you get hired to Shonen Jump after your little period,
After
they
the
tell
yeah.
your personal editor would tell you character design first, everything else second. Because in Shonen Jump's like version is if your character design stands out from everything else, you're gonna get the eyeballs on it to read your thing in the weekly jump. And like in the over competitive market of Shonen Jump, right?
Initially.
Then yeah, initially you want that. So you want that to stand out so that people go flip to it, read it, and then vote on it. So right. So you need to have something that pops out to you, the reader, because like John Talk said the cover is most important, right? Well, the cover has to be good looking, but if it needs to have the main character in it first, or when that first page they open, they need to see a standout design of the character, so that keeps them invested in reading it. You can't just say, "Hey, good cover," and then flip into it and it's boring designs. You gonna
Well,
gonna add on to this?
I'm trying to think, because mainly that draws in the initial reading or initial viewing of said product, and relying on those things to constantly carry over into the next page, what not page, to the next chapter of your content. That's not enough to keep people on. Good cover, good character design, but if they're standing there,
Okay, let's put it
if
this.
they're staying, if they're standing there flipping, okay, if they're standing there and they got two rice grains in their hand and they're just flipping them back and forth in their hand, okay, is that gonna keep people reading? Oh, the cool character design, but he just keeps standing there flipping rice grains in his hand. Okay,
Okay, let's put this. Let's put Saga, right? Saga has like most outlandish designs about every page, right or no?
maybe, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right. Saga is extremely popular,
yeah.
right? So the designs work, but it's also carried through a good story.
Yeah,
So what do you need to keep them invested?
a
You
good
need the good
story.
story. You need the story,
But maybe you
but
only need that at all. Maybe you only need a good story. You just need
no.
you need the niche boys. You need the people
Well,
who are
no
like
matter how much niche, if the thing's a boring look at, then no one's gonna read it.
you need the okay, One Punch Man original manga.
Yeah, web manga. It looks ugly, but at least it's interesting ugly. It's not
It's
like it's not boring.
oh my
Like
god.
let me show you something boring. Right, let me pull this up.
Let me show you something more. Go look at the stream. That's me showing you something more. I'm messing around. Here's a problem.
Okay,
I don't got a problem. I'm just trying to fill up the dead air because I'm drawing again.
it's okay. We should have a panel next time. We'll bring in another artist
We're
and
gonna
like have them.
Yeah, we're gonna become a guest-based streaming platform here soon. It's not gonna just be ENF. It's gonna be ENF and you know
We're just
whoever.
we're just gonna be like every other comics gate like live stream or comic live stream. where we have like 6 people and like, hey,
Yeah, we're just gonna give we're gonna give up. We're going towards the indistinguishable conversations mode.
just all yelling at each other.
Just constant yelling, constant arguing. We're just gonna like rag on. We're gonna complain. We're gonna rant, and we're not gonna even like worry about how other people are like. We're just gonna rant for like hours on end. In our first world society, where we got electricity and water and food and you know Popeyes chicken sandwiches and you know the basic things in life. That shadow doesn't make
What's the
sense.
deal with the Impossible Whopper?
I still haven't eaten that thing yet, dude.
It's still good.
Is it still being sold?
Yeah, it's still being sold, but like vegans are kind of mad.
Why? Because it's actually like
They're
already.
like, can you cook it on the not meat grill, like the one you cook the beef on?
Oh my god, dude. I can understand that though.
Yeah,
They don't want any residue of. Yeah, I can understand
meat
that.
meat juice.
Yeah, they don't want to. Yeah, I understand. You know what? I thought about going full vegetarian here at some point. Cause
Like, okay, so this should be a high, like a pretty high concept like kick, right?
okay,
Really cool looking. It's kind of flat in comparison to say something else. Boom, look at that. It's kind of
hold on. Okay, that's pretty.
now,
That's pretty okay.
yeah, it's pretty okay.
Okay, here. Okay, well, okay, you want to know where this problem comes from?
What?
This is similar to what I run. Okay, you know, I'm gonna put this up on screen before I continue on. Hold on, come on now. Open original, please. Okay, copy image. All direct your eyes to the photo on the screen. Photo on the screen. Okay, this reminds me of comic books. You wanna know why?
My
It feels stiff. Feels like they just froze everybody. They put strings on everybody and they froze them all there. And everything's drawn out pretty clearly. There's no guesswork. My brain doesn't have to work. It's all kind of, there. Okay?
okay. Let's put this compared to this,
Okay.
where that one's relatively clean, but it's more exciting.
Okay, here we go. We're about to go into this, and I feel like I've done this before. Okay? Okay. Still in the first picture. I know where they're at. I see the kick. I see the impact. They're in the air. He flipped. I totally get it. New picture. Where are they at? Why are they in a tornado? He looked like he just got hit and then he's like not got hit. Okay?
The picture's not up yet. The picture's not up yet.
I
I'm
know.
looking at this.
But
I
but
got
guess
put.
what?
I got,
But guess what? Latency.
okay. Okay.
What you're hearing and what I'm hearing are not the same. What we're hearing right now, it's
Well, like
latency.
I'm hearing you directly. What do you? What I'm
Exactly.
seeing.
But
What I'm
but
seeing
you're
from what I
watching
hear.
the stream. The
Yeah.
stream's delayed. What I'm saying is the timing is correct. We're just ahead. We're in the future right now. That's the whole point. Either way, here I'm gonna do this again. Okay, I have no idea really where they're at. My brain has to think about what type of punch he just did. There's two like little lines going crazy here. I don't even know what he just did right here. This is the world spinning. They're like in a tornado. Uh, their stances look cool. You know what I mean? I feel the motion within the image. Okay, and every aspect of the image is geared towards showing that motion of this megalo boxing scene. Okay, this is it's all geared towards that. Please stop clanging your spoon in your tea cup. This you don't live in the UK. You live in the United States. You can drink coffee or beer. Pick one. Pick one. Pick one.
Hot tea for life.
I want some chai right now. But either way, this image all is created for the purpose of showing the motion. It has the page has a purpose. Okay. Page prior, and there's aspects within here that could be added to extenuate the purpose of the page. He kicked real good. How can I draw him more kicking real good? We can go over the top a little bit like this, but then there is a clarity and uh there's a foundation reality drawing like this still, but there's still a balance between drawing something that looks good and what is what is right. Your anatomy might be right, but if it don't look good, bring up a random Baki picture, somebody please, from the audience. Anybody? Just pull out your volume of Baki that someone has, laying.
I have like a volume
It's like everybody check under your seats. Whoever has the Baki, the Baki volume, whatever, manga, please pull it out. You just won yourself a car. Okay, yeah. Oh, welcome. Awesome. You just got the one where the anatomy is
Well, wait,
extremely exaggerated.
do you want anatomy or you just
Pick
no? Like,
pick me
okay,
anything.
okay, I give you one with pickle.
Pick me anything, because we're gonna discuss again for the 18th billionth time the balance of drawing good and drawing correctly. Okay, and also bring up a vagabond page. Lord have mercy, what is this? Bring up a vagabond page before I lose
Got
my
you,
mind.
got you. Let me go take a picture of my my manga volume I have.
Go for it. Do whatever you like. Okay, but we're gonna sit here and talk about whatever this is right here. This anatomy is not wrong. It's not wrong, really. I think it's not. It looks pretty alright. It's exaggerated, but it doesn't look good. Does this look good to anybody? Does anybody like this?
I fucking love it.
You love it because you're a freak of nature, but
It's like it's so weird. I can't help but not like it.
his feet have muscles, extremely drawn. Okay, this is an example of trying. I wouldn't say trying.
Oh, here, let me give you a better one. Let me give you a better one.
Everything's right here, but it's too right. It's too right. Okay. Here is okay. Lord, that is beauty. Okay, here's something else. Okay, this is also very powerful because within this page, it is extremely detailed. But the core silhouette of our character, well, it's a little jank. But our core silhouette of our character is still present to an extent. Maybe the sword isn't supposed to be easily shown right here. Maybe we're supposed to be focusing mostly on his stance, and then we see the sword as a viewer. But mainly, this is such an extremely detailed page. This is another example of drawing stuff that's right. Like, it's right. This looks right. This looks like this would be in reality, and it looks good. It's because there's an artistic value within creating a realistic environment by artistic means. I think that's what I'm looking for. Because you use, though this image is drawn to a high detail, you will notice aspects of it that are not drawn to the exact detail. Not every blade of grass is drawn to the exact detail. Those closest to the camera are. As we get further away from the image, and as that information becomes unnecessary, as it is in real life, you see a haze within the image, a fog a little bit in the background, which helps generate a better composition. And I feel like that is actually the word I should be saying now. That composition is very important in creating any form of art. In sequential art, in terms of storytelling, composition can tell its story alone with just a page. Let's bring up this other vagabond page, because I have no idea. There's no words. There's nothing going on, but
Wait,
it tells a story in and of itself. I
well,
chose that
like,
first image.
why not use the one that's like here? Let me send you one that's action.
Okay, let's send the actual one. But what I'm getting at is he didn't even draw the sky in this one. I'm gonna go at it here. He got a clear silhouette of our character, him with his hands together, and maybe he's prepping for a battle. Maybe he's focusing in on everything. And all the information that is necessary is presented to us. We know he's in the wilderness, looks to be in a field. He's standing on maybe a log, it looks like. It looks like he might be balancing on the log. Maybe there's a certain reason. Maybe he is trying to find balance before a battle. So that's why maybe he is on the log. See, composition is so important in storytelling. Here's another thing. Wow, this is an incredible page. Man, I wish he was still making this manga.
You just
Goodness,
like
dude.
you want to buy the volumes, just look at them whenever you like. Man,
This is very incredible because this is another. Okay. Lord have mercy. This is such a good balance of composition.
or of
They're in the
action and
they're in the water right now, right? This looks like they're in the
no,
water, right?
actually like that part of the story. The water's a metaphor.
The water's a
But
metaphor.
yeah, but like
Either way, it helps so greatly in filling the motion and divide between these two characters. The hair adds to the motion of the wind, their motion of the blades as well. It's I can tell who's going to be swinging, and who would probably be blocking here. I think the guy in white will be swinging. The guy in black will be holding a block in mind.
right, it's okay. So what you're saying is comics should convey motion, right?
Comics should tell the
Try to
story in the most effective manner possible. And motion is not necessarily okay. Motion is not necessary on every single page. Stillness and quietness is
well then like okay. So what about like comics has like there's a lot of good quiet mangas because you'll find more quiet mangas than you'll find like
but there's also a
no.
balance.
I mean, there's more quiet comics than you'll find in manga.
But there's a balance between quiet
Well,
and
okay,
loud
here.
moments.
Let me see.
When the battle is about to begin or you lead up to a battle, you don't have a battle before the battle. Then it's the same. You're on the same level. You want to ebb and flow between your stories and uh, compose it in such a way so that the moments that have to be extreme, that have to
Well,
put your audience in a
let,
high excited moment, they can
gotcha.
reach
Well,
that.
let me show you. Let me show you my favorite one of my favorite indie comics, and it's quiet.
Okay. 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 The boy in red.
Red, big red.
Big red. Big red. The big red. Excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna close up these pages before it crashes my computer. Uh-oh, did I? Uh-oh. I messed up. Well, there goes all my work for the past, what, 40 minutes? Oh well. I'll just do it all over again. That's okay. This conversation is more important anyway. Okay, we're gonna talk about Big Red.
You know, I was supposed to be big red. I really love Mignola's art when he was drawing.
Okay. I don't get it.
Well, okay, so this one, right? It's all about time, right? You saw like he focused on the watch,
Mm-hmm.
right? On a panel three, yeah, panel three, right? Panel three, the small ones, and focus on the watch, right? He's talking to the hangman, so like you could assume that he's waiting, right? And like you see how like the panel two shows the rope,
Yeah.
right? From one, so it goes from one, the rope is cut, like the hang, to the watch, and then when he looks up it again, now there's someone like there's a body there that wasn't there to begin with,
But
and that shows like the yeah, it's conveying. It works like okay if we use context of this like the story at this point in time, right? This would be the point of he's like this dead man only comes like you see how the clock right they emphasize like normally like in film let's use film right when you do a close-up on something that indicates the importance of it right so when the importance of like him this clock this like this one panel of this clock showing that this time is important and so that this dead man like if we only use the first one two three four five panels at the top right the first five panels exclusively those right this shows everything you need to know right for panel one shows there's no dead man. Panel two, there's the rope is getting longer than what it was in panel one. The time, and then when he looks up at the wall where the rope was again, right? The like the close up of his face. Now there's a body, right? And then if you were to keep reading, the body points to where he needs to go, or like basically could say it opens a path to where it's now available to him, then rather than like it wasn't before. It's all like this important like the importance of framing.
but the information that I derive from that comes so fast comparative to a film or a movie.
Yeah, but like that's all dependent. Like, okay, so I know how you don't like Digi Bro, right? But I want to
Yeah.
bring up like he did a video on Villain Saga how he was like people consume art. Like he was talking about like Villain Saga versus the manga, right? And he's like, or like using Berserk. He's like, people like Mira spends hours upon hours drawing panels with detailed information on there for people who just to read the story of it and never actually take it step to like breathe in all the pages,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Or you can equivalently get like maybe there are people who would just take in all the art of a page while they're reading it, to get the full effect of the story. But ultimately, right, it's is it a waste of time doing so, right? And you how like you said, this like all it's there's it's better paced in a film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just like in the sense you're not taking the time to pause and like read the images as it is. You just like flipping through it. Like when I showed you like compared to the Vagabond pages, how you stopped and like in all in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the story tell the story. Well,
Because
don't
that was the only thing on the page, but the
yeah
information was all there, but it
yeah.
also wasn't all there. Okay.
Well,
On
this is the
these in half a page, I got everything. That's
Mhm.
extremely fast to me. Personally, that's extremely fast to me. But in one big page, I barely got anything from Vagabond. That's what I feel like is like pacing is so hard to do and timing is so hard to do in comics unless you just go for the typical page turner. Like conveying passing of time in a comic is just something that's very difficult for me to like grasp at least, or at least when I'm reading. Because when I read this page, it's like, hey rope, hey clock, hey he looks back, hey it's there, and this is like, hey look at that. I didn't get the sense of him being there for a long time because
well.
it didn't feel like it was like it felt like it was like he looks away, looks back, oh he's there, oh there he goes, and now you're
Well,
there.
let me ask you. So let me ask you this, right? So like Vagabond is a pretty wordy manga at
Mm-hmm.
times because he goes on like his philosophical diatribes out of nowhere, and versus like say like so is Hellboy is more like a political like a philosophical diatribe in some cases. Well, really wordy because it's a noir, it's a crime noir in a lot of places where right. So the pace like normally when you read it from page to page, there's always that pace like it's slower pace because you expect more words. So because sequential storytelling, right, is like how you say it's harder for you to get pacing down,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and then aspect, right, it's like how Digibro explained it. It's that some readers will take in every moment of the page, rather some won't, and just get what they want. They come for the story, maybe never read it again, or they love the story and come back for it multiple times, continuously reading it and getting more information out of every panel this time. But ultimately the consumer is always going to get there's every consumer is going to get something going to obtain something different from it. Like if you were to read Vagabond, you'd probably attain a lot of it because you're going to like stop and like, oh, this panel is beautiful, or like because there's a lot of panels are really beautiful in Vagabond,
Mm-hmm.
right? But me, when I read Vagabond, I was like, I didn't really look at focus on pictures because of all like the philosophical stuff that it was going like spouting later half. I'm like, hate it. Even though the art got better the later as it got, but it got more wordy with it in some cases. When he was like when he started realizing like the farm arc that just ended, and that's the end of it. But yeah, it's like that, right? Like me personally, like a lot of like these two-page spreads like are the ones that like I took a moment like, oh yeah, man, this is a really good looking manga. But then when it gets back to like the pace of it, like this pace is like really slow. So um I guess like this, right? If I were writing it, right, I always say I tell like someone that's writing a comic that the first page of the your comic is the most important one. So if you write like Hellboy has the perfect first page for what it is. It's basically three panels with like one paragraph of dialogue each, right? And why I say it's perfect because you if the person reads it all the way through, then their mindset is already there. This is a slow paced story, right? Along with Vagabond, which is like a slow paced story, and the first page, in my opinion, doesn't do it so well because it starts off with like a blank page. It starts off with a page with no dialogue and just rain and a guy laying there. I'm like, oh, okay, right. So it creates a different situation, like how you put it, pacing for you, right? Like let me put it like this, right? Just send you this,
Okay.
but
Just
you know
try
what
to
I mean, right?
yeah. Let's try to get all of our final thoughts in because we have reached the 1 hour mark of our 5 minute rage hour of the ENF 5 minute rage hour number three. Where we're supposed to be talking
Woo.
about Toei comics, but now we're talking about Vagabond again. But let's all start to gather our final thoughts on this topic because I have work in the morning.
Okay, okay. Just final thoughts, right? Douche. Boo.
Okay.
Like so looking at like these like say just like these first two like these first three pages of the manga it fills faster than say the ones I showed you before, because it's like, oh, this is mostly like this is gonna be more visual than say narrative focus. Well, it kind of like tricks the reader because like now there's a lot of pages like with just lots of dialogue, a lot of people talking or people going into their monologue and like what they think of later. Just
No, I'm just observing the pages. It's. I have no idea what to think right now. It's just. I don't know.
information just fed to you. Just like,
It's just.
oh,
It just feels right. These pages just feel
okay.
right. It's like he's laying there, the battle's over. Why? Okay. But the thing is that stands out to me is the red and the blues. Okay. Do these indicate different moments of time? Are these two things happening at the same time? Why are the horses coming in red, but he's laying in the
No,
blue?
I've read this chapter twice, first chapter twice, and I still don't know.
Is there okay? That's hey, that's more information. That's the fun part about all this is information garnering that we can't fully understand or absorb in one sitting, or in two sittings, or in four, or five. Either way,
Maybe.
it has been the 5 minute range hour number 3.
Oh,
Say your last
sweet.
sentence. I know you're not saying it. Say
Uh,
your last sentence.
Spodoink.
Really? That was it? Wow, I thought you were gonna bring up
Yeah,
one more topic.
no, no, no. We already been our 5 minutes. We went on several topics for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh boy, we went a little ooh, we went
Oh,
ooh boy.
little, oh,
E-
little overboard.
Either
Okay.
either way, where can we, the consumer, find you, Eric
Uh,
Mulgilla?
you can find me at Twitter, Eric Mulgilla Twitter.
Oh Lord have mercy, that's
Uh,
amazing.
Oh, you can find me at the real OJ.
At the real OJ 32 39. There we go.
What was his jersey numbers? Like just.
32, 39, one of those. It was 30 something.
I'm about to make that Twitter right now.
Okay, go for it, man. I think you can change it to that. Either way,
No, I'm about to make a separate Twitter as real OJ.
there's already a real OJ Twitter.
Damn.
That's separate of separate OJ. Okay. Well, for me, for Figure, I'm Figure. You can find me on Twitter, only on Twitter, at Figure underscore 010. 010. I'm having a stroke. It's getting a little late. I get to work at 7. Well, this has been the ENF I'm in Rage Hour of Too Many Comics, where we talk about comics. We did, but we didn't. But oh well. Thank you for
We talked about economics for a bit.
we
Like,
talk about
okay.
finances, talk about taxes. Okay, to round it off, pay your taxes, people. Well, thank you all for giving us
Crowdfund.
your ears
Your time. Your time.
and your blood.
And like having us tabbed open and they're like in the background.
Yeah, like I hope you listen to us. Like I know you're there. I know you're listening. You don't want to type in chat, but I know you're there. Thank you again for listening.
Woo.
This has been the ENF 5 Minute Rage Hour. Come again in the next year. We'll have another episode coming up. So see you all then.